Yeah. You're so photogenic. So, here's a good story. So, when I was 13, I saw my dad hanging out with these guys who were smoking pot, right? I saw them crumble it up, take out the seeds, and roll it up into a joint and smoke it. My dad didn't smoke because he had asthma, but he was a big drinker. But he was hanging out with them, and I could smell it. It reminded me of burning rope, and I was interested and curious. So after they left, I went and grabbed the seeds. And you know, I had been a gardener already for many years, so I grew them. Right, I grew me like a 6 foot tall pot plant, and my mom found it and she threw it in the trash, and she said, "What were you doing with that plant?" I said, "I wanted to see the flowers," which was true. But I also wanted to smoke them. Anyway, so I grabbed the plant out of the trash and I dried it up and I rolled it into 13 joints and I smoked them one after another till I got high.
Oh my God.
When I was 13 years old from a plant I grew myself.
Wow. That's crazy.
Nobody has a story like that. I got my own self high. Nobody influenced me except me. Yeah, I didn't smoke again though until I was almost 18.
Wow.
That's a trip, huh?
Wow, this is so beautiful.
Right?
Damn.
This is the Merced River Canyon, designated wild and scenic by Congress, protected as a scenic highway. It's beautiful, huh?
Oh my God.
My home since 1985. I love it. Pretty baby.
I saw Blondie a couple years ago. They call it Riot Fest.
Yeah.
They do it in like Denver and Toronto too.
Yeah.
But they do it in this big park in Chicago, and it was like that was in 2013, which was one of like the worst years of my life. That was the year I like had a breakup with my boyfriend and my horrible boyfriend in Montreal, and I came back and like I had been like seriously depressed, you know, and which was hard for me because I'm really a happy person. Like I was depressed when I was younger, but that was different because like home life was really tough, and I was also going through puberty, so it's just like tough, you know.
Yeah.
But like as an adult going through it was really weird for me because I'm usually really happy.
Yeah.
And that's when I sort of realized like, you know, it is like a disease. Like it's out of your control. It's not just like you're mopey. Like you just can't help it.
Yeah.
And so even when I came back to Chicago, I was doing better, but it still took me a while to get out of the depression. And then my friend killed himself.
Oh, jeez.
And like it was just a tough year.
Yeah.
But like I went to this Riot Fest, and it was just like the weather was pretty good most of the time. The last day it rained, and I ended up getting hypothermia, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
But it was just like all these bands, and they were all so good, like Violent Femmes and Blondie.
Oh, I love Violent Femmes.
Oh yeah. And the Replacements got back together, like, and that was like the first time they played in Chicago since they broke up in Chicago, I think. And that was awesome.
I bet.
And like, just like, there were like way more, and I can't think of them. Guided by Voices, X, Dinosaur Jr., like all these older bands. And it's funny, some of these bands I had seen like 10 years ago, and that's when I was like, they're so much older now, and I was like, oh my God, that was so long ago when I saw them. Yeah. But it was just like, I had a brownie that someone had given me, and I was just like the happiest I'd been in so long. It was just like running around, all my friends were there, like all my best friends were there. And I just got to like go around and just like be happy, listen to good music. Yeah. I was sitting on the bus. I took like cider and I put it in a coconut water like bottle. Yeah. Which are like opaque bottle. And so I was just like sitting on the bus like drinking, but no one knew it. It was so much fun.
Yeah, you know, you can. Depression is a disease, but you can fight it. Here's what I found. I mean, I was depressed twice. The second time, I just did every single thing that I could to fight it. I went to a doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Shit, that's all fucked up now. I did sweats, and then ultimately what I did is I faked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forced it. I don't care. I'm gonna act like I'm happy. I'm gonna do things like if I'm happy, and even if I'm not happy, I'm still gonna do that. And then you know what? You start to enjoy it, and you start to feel better.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it doesn't matter if you're feeling it. If you force it, you'll get better.
I mean, for me, like, I was in Canada, so
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, I had a really good therapist in Chicago, but I wasn't in Chicago, and I
Yeah.
didn't have any insurance or anything. I was
Yeah.
living in a really small apartment with a guy that was really mean to me.
Oh, that sucks.
You know, and I didn't really have any friends there.
Yeah, well, situations. That situational.
Well, that's the thing is, yeah.
Situational depression is different than.
I mean, it was sort of a combination of things. Like, I don't know, like, I think that brought it on, but once
Yeah.
it was there, it was hard. It was real hard to get out. And then, like, you know, being back made me happier, but I was still, it still was hard. And then my
Yeah.
friend died, and then, like,
that
you
makes
know.
sense. But that's all situational, you know.
I mean, yeah, a lot of it was. But still, it's hard. Like, I wasn't suicidal. When I was younger, I was suicidal, but I wasn't suicidal this time. Which almost felt weird, because it felt like
I came close in 2009.
I came close when I was a teenager. Like, I came really, really close.
You know what stopped me is a native kid that's related to my kids killed himself when he was like my son's age. I think he was like 21 at the time. And I went to the service and all that, and I saw the grief that it brought on the family.
Yeah.
And I thought, there's no way I could do this to my kids.
Well, that's
You know what I
what,
mean?
like, I mean, my dad was kind of a monster at that point,
Yeah.
and I wasn't too fond of my mom at the time, I think, because she was just, I mean, in retrospect, my mom was going through the same hell we were, you know.
Yeah.
So we would, and plus I was just like a teenager, so we would get into fights a lot.
Yeah.
But still, like, I still couldn't do that to them, and I couldn't do it to my sister. And also, my best friend was also really depressed and also suicidal, and it was
Yeah.
almost like the Cold War. Like, I'm like, if I kill myself, she's gonna kill herself.
Yeah.
And like, at that point, I couldn't really love myself that much, but I at least loved other people enough to care to not do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's devastating to
And
people around you.
I mean, there was a time, like, when I was probably like 14 or 15, where
Yeah.
I was like pretty sure I was gonna be dead by the time I was 18. Like, I thought
Yeah.
when I turned 18, I was like the most surprised.
Wow.
And now my life is so great, and I'm so
Yeah.
happy. Like, I'm like, oh, what a waste that would have been. You
Yeah,
know?
no kidding. I feel the same way.
And like, I have two friends, like my godmother's son.
Yeah.
So it's like my mom's best friend, and then her two kids were close to us in age, and like, I sort of lost touch as we got older. Like, we're still kind of in touch, but it didn't seem too much, and he got into drugs and stuff. But when we were little kids, he was like the closest thing I had to a brother. Like we would hang out all the time and just have so much fun. And he jumped in front of a train.
Oh God.
And like, his
It's awful.
funeral was really hard. I mean, I was like at work, and my dad called me, and it was just like shocking, because he had been doing better. That was like the last we had heard, you know. Like, he had been
It's
into
awful.
drugs and all this stuff, and he had been depressed, but everyone was like, oh, he's getting better. He like had a girlfriend, and everyone's like, oh, he's getting better, you know. Like, I'd seen his sister and his mom, but I hadn't seen him because he was kind of off doing his thing. And that was really hard, you know, because that's like family.
Yeah.
And yeah, just seeing, it's like, I have weird feelings about it, because I kind of, in some ways, I feel like it's your life, you can do what you want.
Yeah. No, but
But at the same time, it's like,
it's not only your life.
Yeah.
But you also belong to the collective, and there's people
Yeah.
that love you. And I mean, ultimately, yes, it is your life, but you also do have a soul contract to the people who are around you.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, I understand, because I got so close myself.
Yeah.
I understand feeling that helpless, and like, I don't, you know, like, I forgive them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's heartbreaking to know that they felt that was their only option,
Yeah.
you know? And like, I've been there, so I get it.
Yeah.
And you know, there's nothing you can do. But at the same time, like, my sister, the guy who killed himself in 2013, I knew through my sister. My sister was super close to him. and one of her friends, that they were all in the same friend circle, she has a lot of depression problems, but she had told my sister, she was like, I think she's even tried to kill herself and failed, and she was like, now, like, going to his funeral and like seeing, same thing you said, like seeing what it does to everybody else, and also feeling it herself. She was really close with him. She was like, I don't want to do that to my friends, even if it's almost intolerable for me to live my life. Like, I can't do that, you know, because it's a selfish decision.
Yeah.
But
God, the rivers look so good. I'm so happy.
yeah, it does.
Oh man, the swimming here is so good. It's so incredible. Beautiful. In the right conditions. Generally, in like a normal year, the water in August feels like silk.
Wow.
You can sleep in it, man.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Yeah, the temperature outside's hot, you know, and the water is perfect. You're just like, oh, it feels so good to be here with the sun beating on you. You know, I love it.
When I was in Texas, I was amazed because it was like in the 90s.
Yeah.
But the hot springs still felt so good because I was like, is it gonna be too hot? But again, once it got too hot, you just jump in the Rio Grande.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh, look at those rapids. That's great.
Nice. Let's see, it must have been about 30. No, I was about 27, 28. I decided that I wanted to go down the river and when it was in peak flow.
Yeah.
And I found a one-man raft. It was before the year when they have the rentals, you know, they have the guided tours.
Yeah.
And the water was still too high and they weren't doing it yet, but I was like, I'm just gonna go, you know. So I got in a one-man raft, and without experience in whitewater rafting, just had a helmet, bicycle helmet, I had a life vest, I had gloves, I had knee pads, I had shoulder pads. I was all padded up, but floatable stuff, you know. Oh, and I had and then so I went into the one-man raft with a kayak paddle, and did it for a while. But I got to this point that's over here. It's supposed to be a real big place, and it just sucked the raft away from me and put me in a washing machine. And it was like, okay, well, and then it bent my paddle, so I was done. But so then the next year I tried it again, and pretty much the same thing happened. And then I thought, well, I'm gonna just go on it without a raft. I'll go on it with a boogie board. And I did it a few years with a boogie board, and that was fun, but it's real hard on your body.
Yeah.
You're getting beat up. You use the raft when you hit a rock. You just hit the rock with the raft, or not the raft, the boogie board, and that shot that protects you from hitting the rock real hard. But it's still real hard on your body. But I have some old video on that. I really would like to get that on YouTube.